Here's a 78-year-old billionaire who has not stopped whining about his problems.
Oh, she had a big crowd. Oh, the crowd.
This weird obsession with crowd sizes. It just goes on and on and on. America's ready for a new chapter. We are ready for a President Kamala Harris.
I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message.
I wanted to start with that ad from the Kamala Harris campaign, which is being played on the Fox propaganda outlet, surprisingly, of all places, because that ad, like many things in this campaign, has really gotten under Donald Trump's skin. And I love when that happens for so many reasons, but chief of all, when he is uncomfortable, when he is insecure, he lashes out. When he's distracted, he is a danger to his campaign. He destroys his own campaign. And that's exactly what we've been seeing more and more of lately as Kamala Harris, like I said, in the ads her campaign runs, continues to get under Donald Trump's skin. So much so that he's not just lashing out at her anymore. Like I said, he is completely distracted. He is lashing out at his own friends in the right-wing media, specifically the Fox propaganda network. And that just makes me so happy. The MAGA Civil War, what could make you happier than seeing that? And so Donald Trump, in all his anger and grievance, decided that he was going to go after Fox once again in one of the funniest ways yet, at least for our observation. And I want to get into all of that. But before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video. It goes a long way in supporting our channel and really means the world to me. Now, like I said, that ad clearly getting under Donald Trump's skin, but it's not just that. It is also the incredible takedowns of his campaign happening on Fox. And I want to check those out. One specifically from Jessica Tarlov before we get into Donald Trump's meltdown and attack on Fox. So let's check out this clip from Jessica.
At the Oprah event last week, they've got nothing to say because she's not saying anything. And they said that it was going to change, but now we're 43 days and counting.
Well, we have seen a huge increase in the number of things that she is doing. I'm not saying that it's enough or that this is full tilt, but it's very clear from what's been put out into the press and people that I've spoken to in the orbit that there is a plan. Now, will it work? I don't know. We'll find out on November 5th. But so far, she continues to climb in the polls and to get good news, to have huge fundraising moments, to start besting Trump on categories where he was way ahead of President Biden. I mean, from the NBC poll over the weekend, she's now 9 points up on who represents change. Undecideds are sticking up in terms of her favorability. She is doing things like the local ABC News interview in Philadelphia. She's on Wisconsin Public Radio today. She is zeroed in on the swing states where she needs to go. And I think that she has, in a lot of ways, learned lessons from past campaigns. Remember, in the autopsy was written about Hillary Clinton's loss. She didn't go to Wisconsin. Kamala Harris isn't making that kind of mistake. She's out there talking to voters directly. And I don't know, I don't hear that many people besides Brett Stevens complaining that she's not giving them what they want.
Such an important point being made here by Jessica, and I continue to say this, just because Donald Trump responds to a question when it is asked doesn't mean he is answering it, because of course he gives no specifics, his mind is wandering, he knows nothing about policy in any substantive way. And the attacks on Kamala Harris, they just fall so flat. She's been doing countless interviews lately, and this disingenuous idea that she's not talking about policy specifics is so wrong for countless reasons. But I'd also like to point out the same journalists who want to know the specifics of her economic policy don't report on the results, the specific results, the successful results of the Biden-Harris economy. They're not doing that. And so it doesn't seem like they want to give any attention to policy. It seems like they just want to complain. But that is my own observation of the mainstream media. And like I said at the beginning of this video, Donald Trump seems to have his own observations about Fox, which he is incredibly upset at, attacking them last night for putting Democrats on the air and running ads like that one we just saw. And I want to check out that angry meltdown.
But we love Sean Hannity too, right? And we love Laura, and we love Jesse, and Janine, and Pete. We like Pete Hegseth. Ainsley's good. We have a lot of good people, and then we have some bad ones too, including on Fox. You ever notice on Fox, They put me on, I do a great job, and then they follow me with a horrible commercial. I say, what the hell is it going to be doing it if Roger Ailes never allowed bad commercials? What's the purpose of me doing a nice show? And then they put 9 horrible commercials on, which are all lies. Or they put somebody on that's good, and then they always feel like they have to put somebody on who's bad. So the net result is a neutral. And you say, what are you doing it for? You can't do that. Fox should put just the good people on, the people that want to make America great again. They shouldn't put the guys that are professional scammers on. And they shouldn't allow bad commercials.
Is there a more insecure individual in this entire world? It's always funny to me, and I talk about this a lot just because it is so ridiculous. You can tell that he knows that Fox is a propaganda outlet because anytime they're not saying exactly what he wants to hear in any given moment, it's this affront to him as a person, and he feels like it's an attack on his character or his campaign whenever a Democrat, or like he likes to say, the enemy comes on Fox. It's just so ridiculous. They're just letting us know that, yeah, you are a propaganda outlet. We know that to be true. And of course, one of my favorite examples of that came when Tim Walz, before he was the VP nominee, went on Fox and absolutely shut down the anchors. And of course, Donald Trump lashed out. But we see more Tim Walz than ever recently. That is getting Donald Trump pretty upset. And because of that, of course, Fox is trying to attack him. And Jessica Tarlov, once again, did such a great job shutting that down. And I want to check it out.
So A, that's not true.
Okay.
B, child poverty was cut in half when the Biden-Harris administration implemented the child tax credit and the Republicans got rid of it. If Tim Walz is as terrible and embarrassing as you guys think he is, why does he have a +7 favorability and J.D. Vance and Trump both have a -13? And Kamala's at +3. What's going on? What's going on with this loser with the clean air filter, right, that people seem to like?
Capital L.
The overtures to the crypto community, not only did she raise $27 million on Sunday, but Donald Trump's been all over the place. He was against Bitcoin before he was for it, right? He said it was a threat to the US dollar. Then he was like, oh, well, maybe I could change my mind, get another flip-flop under my belt. He doesn't even make any sense when he talks about it. Listen to this quote, talking about his new crypto business, which I'm sure will go bankrupt. But crypto is one of those things we have to do. Whether we like it or not, I have to do it. It's crypto, it's AI, it's some of the things. Does that sound like somebody who knows what they're talking about?
He clearly was unburdened by what has been.
Sure, he's coconut pilled then, because that's the kind of stuff that'll end up helping her. Now, there is a gender gap, historic, and there's a gender gap on the other side with women that are going to be voting in droves for Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. But continuing to patronize someone who I'm pretty sure can take care of his car is not an effective strategy. I return to the fact that if you are going to have people going to a voting booth who don't necessarily like either candidate, and one of them has a -13 approval rating, and one of them has a +3, that they're probably going to pick the person who has the +3.
Especially with recent favorability polling coming out, I don't know who, well, I guess I do know who, the propagandist at Fox, but who thinks that they can make an argument that somehow Tim Walz isn't likable? He's incredibly likable. That's obvious. Let's look at the numbers. And what they were attacking, at least Judge Jeanine specifically was trying to attack Tim Walz for, was a recent Kamala Harris campaign ad, which I thought was absolutely incredible, from Tim Walz when he was working on his car, talking about policy, calling out Donald Trump, doing a couple things at once. I don't think Donald Trump can do any of those things. I don't think he can talk about policy. I don't think he could fix a car, but of course, he's not Tim Walz. And that's one of the reasons we don't like him so much. But I don't want to just talk about the ad. I want to check it out because it's so great.
They don't care about fixing the cruise control on a 79 International because they can buy whatever they want. Middle-class folks are the ones that need the tax cut. That's what a President Harris administration will do. Vice President Harris and I believe a lot of values, and one of the biggest value that we share together is when the middle class is strong, America's strong. This thing, old school carburetor, you can always tell something about somebody's maintenance when how clean their air filter is. Look, to be able to work on this thing, you got a manual. It shows you exactly what to do to fix things on this. Donald Trump and J.D. Vance have a manual too. It's called Project 2025, and it's a way to stick it to the middle class by giving tax cuts to the wealthiest, rigging our economy to make it more difficult for people. Look, they didn't give me a manual for this if you didn't plan on using it to fix your truck. They didn't create that Project 2025 just to have it set around as a doorstop. My pro tip of the day is silicone-based things around rubber, best thing. You get the wrong material on this stuff dry rots out, and this is like really hard to find. So make stuff last, invest in it, just like you hear this administration under President Harris. Investing in the middle class will make a strong America in the long run. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you need to fix the analog cruise control on your 79 International, this is the place to come. And if you want to know what investing in the middle class in a strong America looks like, follow the Harris Walls campaign for more.
I love that ad so much. I'm excited to see more of those, and we're going to be covering ads like that on this show every single day. And so if you want to support the work we're doing, as always, you can hit that subscribe button and leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it. And if you stuck around to the end, let me know what you thought of that Tim Walz ad. Do you want to see more of those? I certainly do. And until next time, I'll see you soon.